I didn't cry when they led me out of the building in handcuffs. I didn't shout, didn't struggle, didn't even look at the cameras flashing like strobe lights outside the glass doors. I just watched the five of them standing on the balcony of the firm we built together, looking down at me like I was a glitch in their perfect system. They thought I was counting the years I'd spent in a cell. They were wrong. I was counting the ways I would dismantle their lives without ever touching them. The inner circle. The six of us were known as the Apex Six, the most elite venture capital team in the city. We didn't just make money. We decided who deserved to make money. There was Elias, our leader, charismatic, polished, dangerous in the way only men who believe they're untouchable can be. His confidence filled rooms before he did. People trusted him instinctively. He taught me how to read a room. I taught him how to read a balance sheet. I thought he was the brother I never had. Then there was Sarah. Sarah was the strategist. Razor-sharp mind, warm smile. She could dismantle a competitor with a single sentence and make them thank her for it. We were engaged, supposed to get married in the fall. I'd already bought the ring, a 3-carat marquise cut. It was still in my pocket the day the FBI raided our office. Marcus was next, the enforcer. Not physical muscle, but financial. Loud, flashy, desperate to belong. He worshipped Elias, and he hated me quietly for standing between him and the promotion he thought he deserved. Julian was our ghost, the CTO. Quiet, brilliant, deeply insecure. He didn't care about money, he cared about being right, about being the smartest person in the room. I was the only one who ever truly understood his code. And then there was Chloe, the youngest, the protege, always watching, always learning. Her moral compass flickered, but she was too afraid of Elias to ever let it point north. And me, I was Arthur, the numbers man, the stabilizer, the one who made sure everything actually worked, which is why they needed me gone. The knife in the dark. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was precise, surgical. While I was out finalizing the Aegis merger, Julian slipped a backdoor into our proprietary trading software. Marcus moved $40 million of client funds into an offshore account, under my name. Sarah gave the testimony. She told them she'd noticed me spiraling, gambling, desperation, recklessness. And Elias? Elias delivered the evidence to the feds with a look of practiced heartbreak. I wasn't fired. I was erased. My reputation burned overnight. My accounts were frozen. Friends stopped calling. 3 weeks after the headlines hit, my father died of a stroke. He never believed I was innocent. He died thinking his son was a thief. I spent 18 months in a minimum security facility before the Aegis files were leaked anonymously, proving the signatures on those offshore accounts were forged. I was exonerated. But I wasn't restored. The world doesn't care about corrections on page 12. They remember the scandal on page 1. When I walked out, I didn't go to the press. I went to a basement apartment on the edge of the city, and I started watching. The Patient Watch prison teaches you something important. Time doesn't heal anything. It just sharpens the memory. For 6 months, I lived like a ghost. Cheap meals, secondhand clothes, no social media, no calls, no announcements. Every morning I studied their movements, their deals, their habits. Revenge isn't rage. It's chemistry. Rush it, and it explodes in your face. Wait long enough, and it dissolves the target from the inside. They were thriving. Awards, interviews, magazine covers, and arrogance. Arrogance is the ultimate vulnerability. And Julian falls first. Julian was easy, not because he was stupid, but because he was proud. I knew his code better than he did. I knew he'd been skimming fractions of a cent off every trade, not for money, for the thrill of perfection. I didn't report him. I sent him a single line of his own encrypted code from a burner email. No threat, no explanation, just proof. The paranoia did the rest. He stopped sleeping, started rewriting systems that didn't need fixing. Mistakes piled up. Audits followed. Within weeks, Julian became a liability. And Elias doesn't protect liabilities. Marcus breaks next. Marcus lived for status, cars, properties, image. What he didn't advertise was how leveraged he was, How every luxury was built on borrowed money and borrowed time. I leaked a tip to a rival firm about a massive short position Marcus was secretly holding. They squeezed him. Hard. When Marcus begged the firm for a bailout, Elias did what he always does. He cut him loose. Watching Marcus, the man who valued loyalty above all, abandoned by the man he worshipped. That was the first time I felt warmth in my chest. Sarah was the hardest and the easiest. She wanted to be the face of the industry, admired, respected, untouchable. She'd kept insurance, documents tied to Aegis, protection against Elias. I didn't steal them. I just made sure Elias knew she had them. The fight was public, loud, ugly. By the end of the week, she was fired for irreconcilable differences, blacklisted. The ring I'd bought her, I saw it in a pawn shop window days later. The king in the shadow that left Elias and Chloe. Elias unraveled quietly. He stopped trusting anyone, started checking rooms twice, sleeping in different places. Power didn't protect him anymore. It isolated him. Chloe watched everything. She saw mentors fall, saw lies rot from the inside. I sent a courier to Elias's penthouse. No bomb, no threats, just a ledger. Inside was a note. Check the Aegis server at midnight. What he found wasn't a virus. It was me, on a live stream. I'm not calling the police, I told him. I've already taken Marcus's pride, Julian's sanity, and Sarah's future. I'm here to take your legacy. I'd already sent everything to the SEC, the IRS, and the Times. He had 1 hour. Run forever. Or stay and face the sentence I almost served. The end Elias was arrested at Teterboro Airport, trying to flee in a grounded jet. No speech, no drama, just cuffs. A month later, I sat on a park bench. Chloe sat beside me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I was scared. You had a choice, and I said. You chose to watch. She cried. I stood up. You learned to live with the ghost of who you used to be, and I walked away. I didn't get my career back, or my father, or my old life, but I had the last word, and they would never take that again.